Okay, welcome to my channel, Lourdes Lazan. I'm of course Lourdes, and this is going to be a different video. I talk fast, I think fast. I like to do things, I like to build things, and I like to share them with people, and I find certain things fascinating. And yeah, so I'm going to share that with you on this channel. You know, why do I do what I do? What do I do? I build things. Why do I build things? Because I need them, and they don't exist, or at least they're inaccessible to me. One of the first things that I ever built was about, I'd say about a year and a half ago, and it was this. And it looks like a lamp. Yeah, okay, so, you know, she went to shop. No. This is a lamp that I built to be a nightlight and temperature sensor. So you can see the temperature sensor, it's actually a temperature humidity sensor right there. And it plugs into an Arduino under the hood. So this is the hood, obviously. It's got a 3D printed collar and a 3D printed base. Let me put that down there. So this was my first foray into building anything my own with electronics and 3D printing. And it consists of an Arduino Uno and a 24 LED light ring, which for any of you out there who have any understanding of exactly how bright this is, know that this is insane for a nightlight. One LED would have done. 24 wakes the kids up in the middle of the night. But why did I make this? I made it because I needed a temperature sensor for the kids' room, and I needed something that I could see on a baby camera, which I had to set to not black and white, but to actually color to make all the differences, because I was very worried about the colors, or not the colors. Yeah, build a light to worry about colors. I was very worried about the temperature variance in my new baby's room. And I had heard a story, and this is going to be depressing, and I'm sorry, and if you're the family that's, you know, that this happened to, or something like this happened to you, I am so sorry. You know, maybe this can help prevent things in the future. Well, let me describe the problem, then I'll tell you about it. So, heard about this family, I think in the Midwest. It's always in the Midwest, isn't it? I'm in the Midwest. And the temperature in their house was on the fritz because their furnace was on the fritz. The thermostat had kind of gone wonky. So what ended up happening was they had 3 kids. Their bedrooms were upstairs, parents were downstairs. One of the kids got up in the middle of the night because it was hot. Went down to sleep with mom and dad. Sure, no problem. Parents get up in the morning, go upstairs. And the 2 kids that stayed up there had died because the temperature had gotten so out of control, it killed them. The only reason their youngest baby survived is because she came downstairs to sleep with mom and dad. Now, I heard that, and it really struck a chord in me. Because one thing that we all know about houses, especially if you've got central air, is the whole promise. You set it in one place, and it's that way around the house. No, that's not the case. You set it in one place, and in that one place, everything is perfect. Then you go to different rooms, and then suddenly distances and your vents, and whether or not they're clean, and whether or not they've got too much going on, whether or not your thermostat works, you know, properly, all come into play. And suddenly you've got different temperatures all around your house, even though you've got central air. So it's a problem. And I looked on the market because I was very concerned, being a new mom, and there was nothing on the market to do both temperature and, you know, baby monitoring. And I said to myself, well, I've got the baby monitor. I'll build the temperature sensor, and what I'll do is I'll turn it off black and white, and I'll set this up in the room. Then if it turns blue, I know it's too cold in there. I need to go in and do something about it. If it's red, it's too hot in there. I've got to go in and do something. So, and I can look at a glance, good to go. So that's what I did. I built it out of Arduino. I taught myself, I got the Arduino. I taught myself how to do it. It's 7 wires. 7 wires, a bit of code, and power. And suddenly I had a way too bright, and a little bit of sucro. And I had a way too bright nightlight / temperature sensor, but it worked. Might not have been pretty. I mean, you can see it's a bit rough, around the edges here, but it worked. And that was the important thing. As I'm always saying, it doesn't have to be pretty, it has to work. So, built this and toned it down a little bit so that, when it's just sitting there idly, only one LED is on, it's green, it's just sitting there and fine. I know things are okay. If the temperature goes out of whack, like I said, red or blue, very easy, done. So that's why I built that. And then what was interesting is that the globe size wasn't too far off, from that's an 8-inch globe. It wasn't too far off. And I started thinking, you know what? I've got my kids taken care of. I know how to build lights and stuff now. And I'm working with Arduino. I'm going to build a lantern. I've always wanted to have a green lantern. I wasn't going to pay $450 for one. That's for darn sure. And I thought it might be fun to build it myself. And I looked, and DC Collectibles has this amazingly finished, lamp, but it looks kind of plasticky in certain cases. And I noticed that in all the close-up shots from all the unboxings, when it got lit up, there was this line going down the center of the lens. And that really bothered me. That was a reed switch, so that when you took the ring and you put it up to it, if you don't know about Green Lantern, I'm really sorry, but you'll have to look it up, Google. And so you'd put your ring up against it, and that would light up. And then there'd be this line in the center that would just it bothered me. So I said, you know what I can do? I can build one myself. I can build it the way I want it to, and then it'll be better. And so I did that. And this is the core from that with the Arduino. The other problem was that the DC Collectibles one worked off AA batteries, 3 of them. And I thought that was just such a cop-out. Because, you're paying $450, $150 to $450, for this thing, and they can't give you a lithium polymer. So, micro USB, I plug it in, I can charge my lantern, and then I can turn it on. And then now I don't have to worry about, delays, trying to find them. I just plug it into my USB port, I'm good to go. And when I put my ring up to the surface, something amazing happens with 24 LEDs. Right? Isn't that cool? Now, I am sorry to say that this is an effect that you will only see on camera because it's an effect of the lens and the atmosphere between the device and you. It doesn't look like this in person. You just see the ring of lights. But it is freaking amazing, and especially on camera, it's just doubly amazing. So, awesome. But this will light up, and I've also got another feature where it's just as a lantern. This is just the core, mind you, but I built this myself. And I went through about 2 or 3 Adafruit power shields because I was just a little too heavy-handed with the heat on the board itself. So yeah, big pain in the butt. But I finally got it working. Like I said, it doesn't have to be beautiful. But I think it is kind of beautiful on its own. But it does have to work. And this does. So, yeah. So this is where I got my love of building from. And now I'm trying to build lots of different things, and I'm going to take you along with me. I don't think necessarily every episode is going to be something that that we get something finished in. Maybe it's an idea. Maybe it's, here's how we tackle this problem, or here's, you know, the obstacle that we've run into, or where we're going to go with it. But it's going to be fun. And, you know, I'm glad you're along for the ride. And if you're just coming in, you know, check some of the back videos. The production value is atrocious, but it gets better every video. So by the time I figure we get, you know, 100 of these in the can, we'll have it figured out exactly how we're going to do it, and, you know, down to, you know, a fair bit of science. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to say what the next episode is going to be, because I don't know. I thought it was going to be lavalier mics, but here we are just doing an update and a hi, how are you? I'd like to hear from you, though. I'd like to hear about your, what got you into making, or what's getting you into making, or if you're just, you know, if this is just a to use a vernacular most of you should be versed in, if this is a Bob Ross thing, you don't actually build, but you like to see people, you know, who are, you know, building and coming up with, you know, concepts and ideas. So, you know, get with me in the comments and ask questions, you know, say whatever you got to say, and let's start interacting. I don't feel like I work very well in a vacuum. I think things change a lot when you talk to somebody about their particular issues and ideas. And certainly, if you want the instructions on how to build the nightlight that won't blind your kids, I'll send you an updated version. But the Arduino nightlight temperature sensor, if you want, you know, the information on that, you know, just, you know, hit me up in the comments. I'll send it to you in your email, however we get that handled. You know, obviously, I can't guarantee that that's going to save a life, but, you know, it's a hell of a lot better than not having anything. That's for sure. So, you know, I'm going to leave this about here, and we're going to end this episode, and I'd like to hear from you. So please, you know, go down in the comments. Let's talk. Of course, share and subscribe. And if you feel so inclined, go down into the description and you'll see our Patreon. You can help support us so we can make more projects and, you know, do more things that you can kind of sit back and go, ah, that's really cool. Or, hey, I can do that too. So, however you want to do it. But key and most important, I'd love to hear from you. So, let's get this conversation started. Thanks again.